This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day, carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to #Ad by Penji. This is a podcast where we discuss everything influencer marketing related. We talk tips to help assist you in your influencer journey, and we also do so much more. I'm your host, Daniela, and I'm Penji's influencer coordinator. Today, I'm joined here with a very special guest, Jen Herman. Hi, Jen. How are you? Sorry for the mispronunciations.
No, it's okay. I'm good. How are you?
We're great. Very excited to have you on the podcast today. For people who don't know you or who you are, what you do, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your platform, what you're all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Jen Herman. I'm known as the Instagram expert around the world, so to speak. If you ask ChatGPT right now who the best expert is to learn Instagram from, they will tell you it's me. So it's not my own opinion. It's literally I have received. I've been teaching Instagram for over a decade. It's something that I started doing because I saw a gap in the market. I didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to be an Instagram expert. I had a blog and there was a need to talk about Instagram marketing back when there wasn't strategy involved. And over a number of months and into years, I started ranking number one on Google. I started being, the person getting asked to speak on podcasts and at, conferences and things like that. And so I've built up my business, my brand as an Instagram expert. I pretty much eat, live, sleep, breathe all things Instagram. So when they drop updates, it's like, oh, there goes my day. But it's good, and I'm lucky to have people around the world who get beta access to things or who get new features that they're testing, and they send me screenshots or show me how things work so that I can help bring that to my audience. And I actually have 2 science degrees, which is kind of funny, but I have 2 science degrees. So I come at Instagram from a very strategic, very experimental, very scientific approach. So rather than just saying like, oh, well, use this pretty picture, I really break down the strategy. I break down why things do what they do and what the back end of the system is doing. Adam Mazzari has been known to come out and say, you should do this. I'm like, don't listen to him. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'll explain why, right? It's not just an opinion, but I'll explain the science and the functional reason why you want to take certain strategies and tactics in your Instagram approach. And that's what I think most people that follow me and connect with me is because they know they're going to get that kind of approach to how to tackle Instagram.
You obviously do Instagram. That's your primary source of, where your expertise lies the most. But I'm curious, was there ever a point where you were interested in dabbling in another platform, or how did you end up choosing Instagram to be the only one that you prefer?
I mean, honestly, when I started, so my company's called Jen's Trends, and it was Jen's Trends in social media. And so I literally had this blog about all the social media platforms, and I didn't care about Instagram. I literally was like, I don't have time to learn another platform. I was all about Facebook. Back then, like Twitter was still like a super big deal. I loved Pinterest, but Instagram had started coming onto the market, so to speak, from a marketing perspective. And again, no one was talking about it. Like everything was so superfluous. There was no strategy. There was no, credit for anything. And I like to take credit for the link in bio strategy because I'm the first person that's ever documented using that as a strategy that now is like the most worldwide recognized call to action probably. But it was one of these things where I started doing it. And as I did, again, no one else was talking about it. So I kind of became the name, and it was by default. It was just people kept coming to me for Instagram, even though at the time I would have much rather talked about Facebook and other things. So it was definitely like a fluke of circumstances. And then as I fell into that niche, I really honed in on it. I really went like intentional, strategic. Okay, I'm going to do Instagram. That's going to be my focus. And I've been able to, make that kind of my wheelhouse to the point where now, yeah, like literally if you ask me Facebook strategy, I'm like super high level. I don't know details about Facebook anymore, but that was my goal. Like I really wanted to niche down. I really wanted to know every single aspect of Instagram, and that became my focus. So that is the thing. I'm like, I always do, whether it's podcast, interview, whatever. I'm like, you really can't stump me. I'm like, I don't need questions in advance. Just ask the question. I'll be ready to go. And I love being able to go off the cuff and answer this kind of questions because I really do understand the nuances. Whereas Facebook, Pinterest, any of those nowadays, I'd be like, well, in general, you could do, I don't know. I'm so specific. I can literally look at your date, like your data. I can look at your content. I can look at everything and I can tell you, like, you need to be doing this on Instagram. Like, I really understand all the nuances of the platform. And so I love having the expertise in a very limited capacity and then being kind of a generalist elsewhere.
So Instagram, I think, has had a very interesting journey throughout. You know, I remember Instagram coming up in about, well, I don't know. When I remember first using Instagram was back in like 2013,
Yeah.
when it was a lot more casual and different than what it is now. And it was certainly not a marketing platform, right?
No.
It was just, it's just a social media app for pictures.
As you
And
put your dinner, like you put, Valencia or lo-fi on it and called it, right?
And this was like, look at this, looks great. My salad looks
Yeah.
really cute or whatever. And I think throughout the years, we've seen Instagram go through different phases of different sort of moments in time, right? I think youth has been carrying the way that Instagram moves. Like, I think in general, youth, the younger generations usually are the ones that are setting trends,
Yeah.
and the way that social media is being operated. But a very interesting one has been the surge of short form video, which came directly from TikTok. And then I think Instagram just kind of stole from that, and YouTube has stolen from that. And I think everyone is trying to. But Instagram is very popular for learning how to steal things and making it their own, right? With
Yeah.
all of these changes that have been coming from outside sources that are not Instagram, how have you been handling that, or how have you been giving people the advice for it? Because I think it can be very overwhelming for someone who is not on TikTok to all of a sudden have to understand TikTok, even if they don't want to, and they want to be on Instagram, right?
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, stories were the, copying of Snapchat, right? Like that was 100%, a stolen, copied type feature. Reels are absolutely a knockoff from TikTok. And yeah, I mean, Instagram has the advantage of the Meta family behind it, right? Meta owns Facebook, owns Instagram, owns WhatsApp. And they got a lot of money, they got a lot of resources, they got a lot of things they can do. So of course, when a competitor comes up, they're going to go hard, right? They don't want to lose their market share. And so Reels is absolutely a copycat, like inspired by the world of TikTok, but they are very different platforms. And I think that's one of the hardest things for people to grasp is, especially as marketers, as business owners, like we only have so many hours in the day, right? And you're like, great, I did this little short form video. I made it for Instagram, but I'm going to put it on YouTube Shorts. I'm going to put it on TikTok. I'm going to put it on LinkedIn. And you build it for one platform and then you kind of like sprinkle it everywhere else, which is fine. I'm guilty of doing the same thing, people. It's totally fine. We all do it. But that's not ideal, right? Because what works on TikTok isn't guaranteed to work on Instagram Reels and vice versa. So terminology is different, right? Like you might say, share this reel, but if you say that and you put that on your TikTok video, they're like, well, you clearly made this for Instagram because it's not a reel on TikTok. And if you say share this video, then you're like, but did you mean to put that everywhere? And it's not on Instagram. So there's like just little nuances like that are different. And the algorithms are very different. That's the whole reason TikTok is so massively successful. It is their for you, algorithm that is very powerful. It's very unique. That's like the whole copyright protection under all the current, US litigation over TikTok. They will not give up that algorithm. And so, Instagram's had to learn the algorithm and it has evolved over the last 4 years. Like it is very different than it was when it started. And so I think it is something that people do have to remember. If you're focusing on Instagram Reels, focus on Instagram. Make your content for Instagram. If that's your primary platform, build your Reels around that algorithm. Build your Reels around those video lengths and those stickers and those editing features. Don't use the TikTok, box on the front of your video if you're putting it on Instagram Reels. Like if Instagram's going to be your dominant platform, format using Instagram editing tools and then throw it up on TikTok. If TikTok is your dominant platform, great. Build it for TikTok, but realize that when you take those things that are very clearly TikTok editing and labels and stickers and text boxes and you bring it over to Instagram, it might not perform as well. And where a 30-second video on TikTok could be bang on, it may not work. It may be too long for your audience on Instagram, or you're gonna get new audiences because it's too long at 30 seconds. It may be too short, right? Like you have to realize that the platforms are different. And so don't take one strategy and just assume you can transfer it to the other and have success.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is and while the recycling content, like you said, is great, it's definitely not applicable for everything that you do. And if you want to see success in one or two platforms or one specific one, you have to sort of curate it to that one specifically. That kind of measuring of success, how do you actually measure whether your Instagram is doing well or not doing well? I think at Penji, we have a lot of business owners who are trying to have that social media presence, and a lot of them start through Instagram, interestingly enough, not
Yeah.
TikTok. And I think Instagram has more reach because it has a wider variety of audiences, whereas TikTok is very, very youthful, I think. So if
Yeah.
our business is not for young people, TikTok might not be the best avenue. So we have a lot of people who want to have a very successful presence on Instagram and don't know how to do it. Or mostly, I think we've also seen people who don't even know how to measure whether they're successful or not. How do you know if your business is doing well? Is it 1 million followers? Is it 200 followers? Is it, how do you actually use these analytics that you get and all of the tools that Instagram is currently giving people to see that your profile is doing well?
So yeah, there's a couple metrics that I specifically look at as a primary source for indication. But what I do want to stress is that, first of all, things are drastically different now than they were 2 years ago and drastically different than they were 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, pre-pandemic, the world was very different across the board, including social media and especially Instagram. You can literally I could retire if every time I heard the phrase, I just want my reach back, I'd be a millionaire. Literally, that's all people complain about on Instagram right now is their reach, right? Reach is down. It's hard to get in front of people. It's hard to grow your audience. It's hard. And it's different, but everyone's in the same boat. So it's not like you're over here struggling and your competitor's over here, eating cake with taking it easy. We're all in the same boat. So we all have to be strategic in how we approach things. So it's not about your follower count. And you could have 200 followers and generate tens of thousands of dollars in business. You could have 1 million followers and generate nothing in business, right? It's not the follower count. It's about making sure that it's the right audience and that you're selling the right aspect of your business on Instagram. If you're trying to sell a $10,000 coaching program, Instagram may absolutely be the right place for you. May not. Maybe you should be on LinkedIn, and Instagram is more about just building your brand and not selling. That's okay. But it's setting that expectation for what you're trying to use the platform for. Because if it's just brand awareness, then yes, it's going to be more about growth. It's going to be more about reach. It's going to be more about that sort of stuff than about actual conversions. If your goal is to sell an actual product, not a service or, those sorts of things that may take a longer period of time. If you're selling shoes, if you're selling cell phone cases, if you're selling makeup or whatever it is, you can absolutely use Instagram. And in that case, sales is what matters to you, right? You're using this platform as your sales vehicle. You want to get website traffic. You want to get sales, whether it's through the Instagram shop, through your website, your e-commerce, your in-store, whatever it is. That's going to be your focus. You're going to use exclusive coupon codes. You're going to have link tracking. You're going to have things in place that allow you to say, yeah, sales are up 28% from Instagram this quarter. Yay, that's progress. You may have not grown a single follower, but you've increased sales 28%. So it's more about knowing what your base, goal is. And then from there, we look at metrics. So one of the things I do look at most in terms of post performance is going to be your post reach. And why I say reach is because engagement can be horrible. Like, I have posts that get like 18 likes on them. And I'm like, that is statistically impossible. And yet and I'm like, I mean, I literally have 28,000 followers. How did only 18 people like a photo? Like, it literally, like, did it die and go like underground? Nobody ever saw it. But if that generates 32 website clicks, which generated ebook sales, which generated website traffic, which generated, people checking out my membership program, to me, that's a win because I got the website clicks more so than the engagement. So reach becomes my barometer of how I expect that post to perform. And so I'd look at reach across the board. I look at reach for photos. I look at reach for carousels. I look at reach for reels. And reach is always going to be a number that nobody else can see, right? It's in your insights. It's in your personal account. Nobody can see that. That's not a public figure. And so if your average reach is 3,000 over the last year, right? Like, let's say whether you're looking at your reels, your photos, whatever it is, if your average reach is 3,000, don't go back more than a year because data's changed too much. If you have a post that reached 5,000 people, why? That's what we want to know. How did that post reach almost twice as many people? Was it the time of day? Was it the content? Was it the message? Was it how short the video was? How long the video was? Was it the caption? What was it that made that post excel? Let's do more of that. If your baseline is 3,000 and your post got 1,000, well, what did we do wrong? Where did we miss the boat? All the same factors, but in reverse. Let's not do that, right? So reach becomes your barometer of how many people are seeing it and is it doing better or worse than usual. From there, then we start to know, okay, well, if it reached 5,000 people, it should have more engagement. It should have more website clicks. So that becomes my kind of primary metric. Personally, for me, I look at saves as my other barometer of success. I care about website clicks. Yes, I care about engagement, but saves because I create a lot of educational content. Most of my content is tips, tutorials, information, Instagram updates, news you need to know. So when people are saving my content, that tells me that it was of value to my audience. Share, what Ramazeri says is a big deal. He's over here going, it's all about shares, and shares are great to get in front of new people. But people don't share typically educational content as much. They share entertainment, right? Like you see a funny dog video, you're going to share it to people. But does a dog video help me sell people into my membership? No. So for me, saves is the metric that tells me that my content is of value to my existing audience and that it matters to them. That's my metric to say, I'm hitting the right note. That one got 100 shares. This one got 3 shares. Saves, 100 saves versus 3 saves. That means more to me. So again, it depends on your business and what your goal is, whether you're doing sales and that sort of thing. But you want to look at those metrics that reflect what's working for your business with your target audience.
That's really interesting because I think a lot of people, saves are a really huge deal because that means that person, even if they didn't interact with your video whatsoever, right? Like they didn't like it, they didn't share it, they didn't do anything except save it. That means that they want it for something later on, right? And that means that they care about it. And I think we tend to underestimate the silent viewer a lot, or that person who's like interested but doesn't want to show it.
Yeah. And this is also true in like, I work a lot in the B2B space. I have a lot of B2B clients. I've worked with clients in the legal industry, in the medical industry. And no one wants to go publicly like a post from a divorce attorney, right? Like no one's going to like publicly be like, yeah, let me showcase that I'm supporting divorce attorneys. That like me, I'm getting a divorce. Like no one wants to do that and give away their like presence on certain content. But a save tells you that yes, people are seeing that and that's information they actually do care about because they are going to divorce and this is information they need. Well, It's
wanna
that
say
silent visitor, like you said. It's the silent viewer. It's the people who are following everything you do, and they're ready to buy from you in a year, 2 years, whatever it is, but they're not giving you like I have people come up to me at conferences all the time and go, "Oh my God, I've been following you for 5 years. Great. What's your name? What's your Instagram handle?" I have no idea who these people are. I've literally never seen them engage with my content, but they followed me for 5 years and they love what I share because they are one of those silent, lurkers in the background, not publicly proclaiming on comments and likes that they actually want my content.
Yeah, but they also provide a lot of value, even if
Yep.
they're not silent watcher. Oh my gosh, excuse me. My dog is like
Trying to escape.
I'm gonna have to cut that off. You was scratching the door like crazy.
Oh,
My God, let's just get back to it, and I'll just cut that bit off.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I wanted to ask as well, you are always sort of up to date with all of the newest trends that are coming out on Instagram and new updates and changes. I don't use I have my personal Instagram account for like myself. I don't use it for business purposes. So maybe that's why I am not necessarily like on top of every single change that they do. And I'm always blindsided. Like I was talking about on a podcast earlier today about how I had no idea that you can make close friends posts now.
Yeah.
I thought that you could only like I have close friends Instagram stories, right? And then I saw my friend had posted something and it had the little green thing, and I'm like, what is it? And apparently it was only for her close friends and it was a post. And I'm like, well, that's new. And I was just like, I had no idea this was a thing now. What are some of the updates that you are, more excited about or that you're seeing that are happening on Instagram?
Yeah. So before I answer that, I'm going to totally shamelessly plug my newsletter. I have a newsletter that goes out the first Wednesday of every month. It's my Jen's Trends newsletter. And I literally list out every update that happened on Instagram from the month before. So it goes out the first Wednesday, recapping all the updates from the month before. And typically we see anywhere from 10 to 12 updates per month on Instagram. That factors in things that they're testing or maybe things that Adam Azaria's come out and said or whatever it is. But it is because literally, like, this is my job, right? Like, my job is to sit on top of things and make it so that people can, stay on top of what matters for them in their business. So if you're overwhelmed, by all means, please sign up for my newsletter to have that resource for you. But some of the things like, Instagram's constantly testing and trying new things. One of the things they just rolled out this week, but I've had it in a test mode for a couple months now, is the new fonts on Instagram stories. So way more font options as well as effects. And yeah, I'm actually like sparkle effect. And I use the sparkle one all the time. So it takes your text and puts like little sparkles all over it.
Oh my gosh, it's true. I hadn't seen like all of these fonts.
Yeah, they're literally the rollout was literally just this week, but like I said, I've had it for a couple months, as have a lot of other people that were in the test group. So it's just, again, from a branding perspective, so much more variety, right? We don't have to use the same font every time, or you can add a little more like stylistic approach to your, your text boxes and things like that on your Instagram stories. So that's great. They keep making a lot of changes with Reels. And as much as I hate Reels, I'm the first person to get up on a mountaintop and say I absolutely despise TikTok. I hate Reels. I don't like short form content. I don't like creating short form content. But go look at my Instagram account. There's a lot of Reels because they work. And one of the greatest things is that when Reels came out 4 years ago, it was clunky, it was awkward, it was hard to edit. They were bad. And they've added so much functionality to Reels now. Like it is a full-blown video editing app. I barely create any videos outside of Instagram. I might film a video of me outside of Instagram, but I edit in-app. I cut clips, I splice, I put transitions, I put text boxes, I put music, I put captions, like whatever it is. I do it all in-app because they've made that functionality so much better for the average user. Like you don't have to be a well-versed video editor anymore to be able to create a reel. So that's been one of the great things. They're testing a few things on the profile as well. One I'm not so excited about, but I feel like it's probably going to happen. is we may get away from this square thumbnail on the grid and go to a 4x3. Yeah, I know. And they don't that. Wow, that's what everybody says. Like, everybody hates it. And yes, like, the reason why I can understand why they're doing it. You have reels are 9x16, and then you have square photos. So the 4x3, or I guess it's the 3x4, but in the middle, right? Like, so it crops your reel a little bit, but not the whole thing. It crops your square a little bit, but it kind of makes it more consistent. So I can see why stylistically this would be something that they are considering. But like, every post that I've had for the last 11 years is a square. I crop to a square. I format to a square. Like, text goes to the edge of the square. Borders go around the square. If they crop to a 3x4, 3x5, whatever that kind of configuration is, I'm like, here's the one going to be a mess. It's like, literally, it's going to crop off text everywhere. It's going to crop off borders. I'm like, you'll have half my face. Like, so that's one that I'm not excited about, but planning for. I'm not changing away from a square yet, but I'm starting to format my content in the square to be a little bit more center, so that if it crops, you can still read the text. So, I mean, there's things like that they're testing the things we don't always love. But in general, they're trying to make the platform as user friendly for consumers and for brands and businesses. As much as it feels like they aren't trying to do that, that's what they're trying to achieve. And so a lot of the updates that they're doing are meant to keep people on the platform longer, consume more content, easier to create content, and that sort of stuff.
It's just a whole different playground, right? Because I think before you didn't have a need for analytics or engagement, or you didn't need to have insights or video editing skills, or all of these things that now the platform has. I would say there's an increasing demand for it because it's not being used just for fun. It's being used for business purposes, which makes it have to be like, I feel like Instagram is becoming a CRM at this point, like
absolutely.
Like you cannot like I feel like in a few years you're gonna have to have like Instagram knowledge as a requirement if you want to work for a social media team in companies.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the thing, right? Like, I always tell people this too. It's especially if you have a team of people managing your Instagram, or if you are a business owner and you've outsourced it to an agency or to like somebody who's managing it for you. You need to know that whoever is managing that account and logging in daily is checking the DMs. He has the capacity as a customer service agent of your company to answer those questions on behalf of your company. Like, you have to be a representative of the company in those DMs, because that's where people will come in and be like, what's the lead time on this item? Where do you ship to? Or like, again, it could be legal things. Are you versed in working with clients in this, and they list out like a legal scenario? Like, does your person answering your DMs know any of those answers? And if not, what's the protocol? Like, are they reaching out to you to get that answer and you log in and write the answer? Do you email them or voice text them and then they translate that and put that into a DM? Like, these are things you have to factor in these days on Instagram, because that is how the consumer uses it. They know they can get a hold of you. They're going to contact you and they want answers.
And I think like that's also why we've seen a rise of like other platforms like Zendesk that you can, directly link to your Instagram DM so that you can have the customer service people answer the customer service tickets there. So that you don't have a person directly logging into Instagram for that specific reason. I mean, it definitely is becoming a lot bigger than it was when it would have been like, this thing for fun. Now you can like connect it to other platforms to sort of talk about. And that is true because I used to work in a company that we basically, they were doing a lot of product. They were selling baby products, and they would get a lot of questions from customer service teams through Instagram about, I don't know how to fold this stroller. I don't know how to install this thing. My seatbelt isn't working. Where can I ask for a spare? And it was through Instagram, and they had connected it to like other customer service department so that they could like directly answer that. Because what happened was that they had the social media team who was like not a customer service team. So they were like, I don't know. I just make the carousel post.
Right? They're like, I just make a video. I just throw up a quick witty caption. Like, and that's the thing. If that's what your social media person's doing, you need to have a resource, like I said, whether it's through the dashboard management tool, like some sort of third-party tool, something that will allow that connectivity so that other people can answer it, or that somebody in charge of customer service is logging in that has access to answer those questions. Because, like you said, that if I'm the consumer and I know you're on Instagram and I follow you on Instagram, and if I have a question, I'm not going to go fill out your contact form and send you something via your website to go to your customer service team. I'm going to message you on Instagram because that's where I am. And so you have to be prepared to. Yeah.
I think consumers don't want to bother filling up contact for
Yeah.
the days. They just want like, just give me
Right.
a, that's as well. Like I think we've seen a lot of companies on Twitter like do that as well, where it's like the quirky tweet is also really cool, but you have to, have that knowledge of the brand
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, for sure. And you seem to also have a lot of like Instagram knowledge from before it's out, right? So you learn about Instagram before it gets, you know, a lot of the updates before they're coming out, before the rest of us are finding out, which is great for people who are really trying to get bigger on Instagram to be prepared for all of those changes. Because I had no idea what you told me about changing the from square to rectangle. Like
Right.
how we're
Yeah. It's scary. I'm like, please don't do this, please. But yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, I'm very fortunate. I have certain resources that I follow regularly that I like, whether it's on Threads, Instagram, websites. I have my sources for when something is being tested. They're the first people that usually, post about it. So I can pull that information, first thing I do is check and see if I have the test functionality. Most of the time I don't. But I'll go in and I can look, and like I said, I'll have people that I know around the world. Like a lot of times Australia is a test region. So they'll roll out a lot of things in Australia before they roll them out anywhere else in the world. And so I'll have friends that I have in Australia that will message me and be like, have you seen this? I'm like, no, send me screenshots. Tell me what happens if you do this. And we will literally message and test things so that I can then turn around and be like, great, yes, like here's what's coming. It's a test only, but at this point, this is how the function works. And here's how to prepare for that, whether that's good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is. But yes, it is something that's what I try to, that's my goal, to bring that to people.
So for anybody who wants to get advice on you or Instagram knowledge, or anybody that wants to grow their business through Instagram or just wants to sort of amp up their Instagram profiles, you're welcome to right now shamelessly plug yourself like you did. Like you said, you can talk about your newsletter, podcast, your Instagram profile, whatever it is. Floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. And so, yeah, it's Jen's Trends. It's JENNS trends.com. It's always 2 N's in Jen. And that's my website. That will take you to pretty much everything and anything you could possibly want to find out about me. My history, my blog, how to work with me, all my resources, books, everything else are all available there on the website. Instagram is at JENNS_trends. So at Jens_trends. And again, that has a link in bio that will take you to pretty much everything that you would want to do to work with me. So that will help you out as well. And if you're interested in actually staying on top of all things Instagram at any time, I have a membership program called Profit Your Profile, which you can go to profityourprofile.com. We do live training every single month, one session with me and one with a guest, because let's face it, A, you don't need to hear that much from me, but B, you have other perspectives in the world besides just the way I teach things. But we've brought in experts from all around the world. At all different levels. We've had the head of social media for Microsoft. We've had the head of social media for Taylor Guitars. We've had a celebrity TV chef. We've had a meta certified trainer, photographers, small business, experts and various aspects that come in and do guest training every single month to help you not only be successful on Instagram, but in all of your marketing ventures. And we do live office hours where you can come ask me literally any question you have about your Instagram profile or your account or your strategy. That's my favorite part of Profit Your Profile's office hours, because I can get to know you and get to know your business, and I will literally help you strategically fix whatever is going on, look forward to the future, all those sorts of things. So if you're interested in that and having that kind of regular resource for Instagram, check out profityourprofile.com.
Awesome. Yeah, and I will be adding your links to the description of this so that everybody can go and check you out. They can go and find you if they have any questions for you. It was great having you here today, Jen. Thank you so much for coming.
Of course. Thank you. It was wonderful.
And everybody, I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest. And to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend and, of course, subscribe.